All right. Hey, welcome to the Horror Font Friday supplement. Well, this will be part 2. So we got about 40 minutes into this and we're working on Bloodthirst. We're going to do it with this expansion method that I'm so the last couple weeks I've been doing this method of expanding typefaces using font self and this thing to size stuff, and it's been pretty interesting. And but it's funny because I just I just started I just started this or added that to my process like pretty recently. I had been working on like some part of it for quite a while, but it never really came to any sort of fruition until recently. And then I had put together the script to optimize it so it's even faster. Look at that, it even knew. I'm gonna smart space and kern. I don't necessarily need to because this isn't actually going to be the font. This is the piece of lettering that we're using to build what is actually going to be the 15-degree font. So I don't know if you watched the last video or not. If you haven't, it's probably in the comments section. If we end up finishing this font, that might also be in the comments section. I'm not a time traveler, but you know, a lot can happen. So let's save this as, what did we say? We always save it with a DS at the beginning, and this is going to be called Bloodthirst because that is the name of our source material. So that is going to be our working title in the fonts folder. Save. All right, and then you remember what we do, right? We have a separate document that helps us know exactly what we need to type next. So T, first we're going to type the apple, which is Option Shift K, Command Shift K, one or the other. Looks like we are not sticking to the guides, which is weird. Kind of annoying. I guess I can, oh, you know what I probably did when I was let's do smart guides. It is snap to guide is there, but it's grayed out. So I'll turn on the smart guides. That helps us snap to guides. And let's actually use DS Bloodthirst right there. So first things first, let's see how big this was that we were messing with. Oh my god. 230 even. That would money in the bank. That's exactly what it was. We'll duplicate that. And we're going to start with our numbers. And I'm actually going to make the O a little different, or the 0 a little different today. I'm going to trim it in instead of squeezing it. And the reason I'm doing that is because I feel like doing something a little different today. We'll just kind of see how it comes out. We got to slim those down a little bit, and I'm going to make them a little taller. And that's all we're going to do. I can't take the bottom of this I like I normally would to make it a 1 because that would break the rule of That would break the rule of the drips coming off higher up the letter. That is also going to become a weird issue when we get to the question mark, maybe? I don't know. There's some, I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. Here's another reflect. In the 2, that would have been weird on I'm going to bring it in a little bit. That would have been weird on trying to adapt that to a curved letter. The bottom we're going to bring out a little bit. A group. Remember last week we compared their 2 to our 2? And theirs was better, but we kept ours anyway. That was fun. I don't know if that's actually true. I guess it's all a matter of opinion. But when you're basing things on, you know, classic hand-drawn stuff. Whoa. Did you hear that? Something exciting is going on. All right, so that is going to trim there. That is going to trim there. That one's going away. This inside one's going away. And that also makes it so sorry, I'm just yammering on to myself. Just drawing up a 3. I really like the look of that 3. I don't know if it totally fits. I guess it does. I just like how the center line's so thin. Am I even recording this? Yes. Okay, good. I didn't want to forget what I did in a year when I have to make a gritty version of this or something. Whoops. Delete. Group. And so this has become, I don't know. So work's been really crazy. I know I probably say that at least every week. But I'm like, for so long, I would just get out of work and like, couldn't even deal with looking at my regular email or dealing with social media. I hadn't posted in social media in a while. I haven't really gotten into my email for a while. And yeah, I just clock out and I'm over it. I don't want to sit at the computer anymore, but I enjoy drawing some lettering. So I've kept up on that, but I'm behind on all sorts of stuff. I have like packages that I got in the mail that I wanted to share on social media and be like, look at what so-and-so did. It's great. But I don't know. I go on social media and just, it's doom and gloom. But I am getting a lot of text messages right now. I'm trying to kind of get caught back up on that, so I'm very behind. But part of what spawned that is the project at work is getting very much close to done. and I am finally feeling, I wouldn't say that I'm feeling good. But I'm definitely feeling like a little less overwhelmed. A little. So I feel like I can kind of get back into other stuff that overwhelms me. See, look, this is another one where using the 9. Woo! Sorry, I had to pause it and check my messages. And yeah, it's very exciting stuff. Now we just save that again. I always forget that. So I have all these windows that pop up when I'm doing that, but they don't show up, which I always forget. But I just looked at the video as I was saving it, and I was like, oh, none of this even shows up. Which is probably for the best. I'll be saving fonts in the same number, or in the same folder with all my banking information, you know. How are we looking on time? We're 12 minutes in. Jeepers. So that's how long it took us to draw the letters from the numbers. And you'll see that if you practice that. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save this, copy, and then just backtrack it. Delete that and paste that and cut this. Because the E, I just realized something. So I'd normally use the bottom of the E and the top of the E when I'm doing my equal sign and N and M dashes and all that foolishness. But I can't here because that will break my rule of the drips on something other than the bottom. So that's another fun thing that's kind of different with this font. Working within this little constraint. This is also going to set us up really nicely for, if I can get this rescanned for next week, I'll do the other movie, which is Bloodsuckers, which is similar to this font in the sense that it has drips, but otherwise it's completely different. It's not wavy at all. It's pretty straight on. And sorry, I'm gonna hide that. What was I saying? It's pretty straight on in it. It also has serifs. Sorry. So that should be pretty interesting. I keep opening that. And I know sometimes I'll blame it on like, oh, well, my work computer has things in the wrong place. But in my work computer, Pathfinder is on the left side of the screen, not the right. So I don't know. I don't know why I keep confusing. Maybe I'm confusing those icons. I need better glasses. I should probably be wearing my glasses. Maybe this will help. So I'm going to cut that there. I'm going to cut this. Oh, I'm not going to cut that. I'm going to leave that outer one because I like where that's going. And we're still watching Bloodthirst. So this is pretty fun. So a long time ago, many, many years ago, I don't even remember how many, but I had we were watching Svengoolie, right? Because that's what you do, because it's a great show. And he was playing Gargoyles, the made-for-TV movie, right? So that was when I made the Gargoyle font. We were watching Svengoolie. We put the movie on. While the opening credits are rolling, I have my iPad and I'm just taking pictures of the screen, right? And then once the movie starts, I start taking photos and just, I take all my photos and then I'm, doing my outlines on each letter and I draw out all the letters that are there in the opening credits. And then I essentially do what I'm doing right now, only I did it on an iPad. So, but I did it all while we were watching the movie, which was very fun. Probably more fun for me than anybody else who was watching. But very, very fun. Whoa, that got all messed up. Did you see that? Smoothing that out. I'm going to take that away and get rid of this. Oh! I'm going to bark like a dog. That got its tail stepped on. And uh-oh. Something spooky's happening. It's hard to really tell who's actually thirsting for blood in this film. So because here's another instance where we're going to run into some fun. Because these are because the letters are lower in it like that, they're not going to have the drips either. So we're going to go ahead and erase the drips off of these interior letters. This is a fun rule. Or limitation, or whatever you want to call it. I'm enjoying it. It's kind of nice. Whoops. So I think that happens when I'm holding Command still, and when I go to select things. Same is going to happen with the @ symbol here. And actually, I know I normally use that other circle, but let's move that out of the way. Over here with the bad letters. Who will not get dessert? And smooth that in like this. So these drips are also going away. You guessed it. And this one's gonna come up a little bit. And this is actually, we're just gonna cut it right there. Round it there. Excuse me. I think that's going to look really nice when this is angled. You want a sneak peek? Too bad. Don't ruin the surprise. Fast forward in the video. Group. All right. Where do we go from here? Oh, you know, to the land where we talked about this earlier with our M and N dashes. So we're using all three of these and we're rolling from the center and we're starting with the M dash. I used to do this the other way, but I find this to be infinitely more fun. And then
I don't suppose you've ever lived with a maniac, have you?
No, not lately.
You must help me, and it must be done quickly. I met Calderon in South America, where he was a wealthy plantation owner.
that is going to be our underscore.
Courted me, bought me expensive presents. He took me on weekend trips to beautiful, romantic places.
Which will have the drips.
After I'd been living with him for a few months, I found he was married. He said he would kill me if I ever left him.
I really enjoy the hand-drawn feel of this also. I also want the underscore to be under the baseline.
Oh, he did it very cleverly. And they never found the body, just evidence of suicide.
All right. I'm probably not going to use that ever again. Because now we're in math land. Math magic land.
And what about Maria Cortez?
Yes, he did it.
That wasn't very clever, was it? The way he left her body.
He was having an affair with her, and when she told him she was going to be married,
I just wanted that to be a little more curvy. Group, tuck it in, make it shorter. All right, and then we'll duplicate it. We're gonna rotate that and get it in the center
because they had been
of there.
stupid than you.
Then we're gonna duplicate those, drag that down to there, delete that.
Wouldn't you be interested to know
Group,
in all your cleverness,
duplicate this, rotate it.
possibility that I have an immunity to the drug I put in all the bodies?
That's the favorite part right there. Just making all these random characters from the two lines. I wonder if there's more stuff that I could make in there. And then my least favorite part is making the punctuation. I don't know if that's actually my least favorite part or not. So we're at 23 minutes in. We've got all this. That you do see when it pops up. And I want it to be my desktop. Look at all this. Open. Let's see. We just did symbols and math. I almost got tricked. I don't know why this modal window or whatever. Symbols and math. I wonder if I could code this so that this was just always up. Like it could just be an extension instead of a script. I don't know how to do that. I guess I'd have to look into it. And then I would just always have it there and just turn things on and off. Seems it might be a lot of work because I don't think I'd sell it because then I'd have to like make it work on other people's systems. But it only works with what I'm doing. People would say, it named all my letters wrong. And I'm like, it only works when they're in that order. It's not for you. let's go ahead and batch these. Whoa.
So that's how you did it.
Not me, but a loyal servant. In the ancient culture of my people. Not my ancestors, my people. A form of human
All right.
sacrifice was made.
All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut that, because in the rule of drips, we are period centered, and the colons and semicolons are they can't work with the drip, you know, because they're not at the top. They're based a little differently. You'll also notice that instead of drawing that on there, I made it a separate piece. So this will work like this. We can duplicate those. This will be our center. Now, the drip goes away. I'm going to move this over. I did the wrong thing. I wasn't supposed to do this. I was supposed to do, this comes after in the process. See, this would have broke everything if I were another user.
Thank you, Miguel.
Before you leave, I have a gift for you. I wonder where he is. Sorry I'm late. Here he is. I hope you like him.
Harvey? But I thought I had him in here.
Adam.
I'm going to delete that actually. Let's come back to this, because the best way, in my mind, to make that piece, I will need part of this. So I'm going to cut that right there and duplicate this. Cut it.
Will you be back soon?
Group. There I go again with the layer. And then the movie ended. And we ran out of time. All right. Join us for part 3. We're just going to go ahead and restart it. We're a half hour in. If that interruption shook you as much as it shook me. Just so you know.
Miguel, this is probably the best setup you've ever had for putting it. We function as an undercover. I can pass
What?
I'll even wear colorful sport shirts
All
with
right.
2 cameras if you like. What do you say?
No, Adam. No. Thank you, sir.
So that's going to go up and then this is going to go down.
We don't know why he drains the blood from
We are going to
We can only assume that
get out Pathfinder, and we're just going to join all these up,
Do you think there'll be other killings at the club?
and we'll pull one out just in case we need it for something.
and if our
And we'll
suspected we were trying, he'd pick up and move to a new area, to a new city.
Then it
just smooth these right on over.
times there will be more killings.
Right. I'll do some digging on my own about this last girl. Maybe it'll help speed things up for you.
No heroics. No foolish
So
weaknesses. Just
sometimes there we used to do the period, but we don't do that anymore because that's lame sauce. What comes after here? Let's see. This and one of these. I need my guides for this part
there is another possibility.
because that one's going to go to the top and this one's going to go to the baseline, and I want them to sit right on those baselines. This is actually where... So this is tricky with the drips because my double dagger, it sits on the baseline. That's where the drips are coming out of, but it's not the lowest point on the letter, which is also where the drips are coming out of. And I think that's the rule that I'm going to follow. So not actually going to do that. Our number sign is next.
But anyway, I would like you to think about it.
I'll do better than that. First thing tomorrow morning, I'll go down
And that just gets really thin.
Dracula and the medieval witches.
I'm going to get those really thin also.
He's trying to help you.
And I'll remember what he said, Sylvia. Don't move. There, at the base of your neck, two small
And
holes
spread
in it.
apart. And something weird happened there. It's fine.
I think that
And I think that only a complete fool would ignore
And we're
the
just going to
possibilities of
ever so slightly angle this
regardless, I would like you
and
to
just
add
do a little bit of redraw on the top and probably the bottom because I feel like these...
there should be no connection at all, not even a cab driver.
Miguel, I preferred if
And I would prefer that you help us in this matter, since you have just returned
are probably more of a giveaway. Because there's an S there, I'm going to guess that my $ is back. And this is also going to follow the rule of
The Luzon Hotel is very clean. I'm sure you'll
trimming the drips off of the S.
Here is additional material that I prepared for you.
Thank you for your hospitality and the spirit of conversation.
My sister Sylvia is very headstrong, but she means well. I hope you two get along well.
And that's all the stuff that is boring.
In here, yes.
Everything else from here on out is fun.
With an English word here and
Um,
before the war.
I'm getting rid of the dot on this bar or this slash because I always bring it in. This O is actually going to make what will become our slash character from the O slash. And this is what we're going to do for that.
the hotel is 2 blocks back on the other side of the street.
So it just gets a little more drip. And this side we're going to bring in a little bit because I kind of want it to be the same width as the O. And that's how we set that up. Not going to group it yet
Right now, my brother needs the help of people with equal dedication.
because this is... This little speedy part here is also very fun.
Do you have all the answers to life, Mr. Rourke?
Not the last time I checked, no.
Well, then it might surprise you to find out that there are still some mysteries that science and policemen seem unable to answer. Good night, Mr. Rourke.
I came here to help.
See how sloppy that was?
I intend to do it.
Gotta zoom in better.
It would make things a lot more pleasant if I had your friendship, too.
Alright, so
Now, in the interest of friendship, I'll make a simple bargain.
normally I do the top first, but here, as you notice, I'm doing the bottom first because of the drips. Because the drips will stay on the bottom, but go away from the top. Just to give a little bit more variation to that percentage sign. Yes. And then that's our fraction. We'll group those, move them over, move that over, and I'm going to cut that right down the middle and warm it up, Chris. I'm about to. Excellent. All right. So, whoops, I shouldn't have deleted that. This is where I actually should have placed these, and that's why the IIS, that always gets me. But the reason I want to do the other part first is because that degree symbol makes a really good outline for my whatever that's called. The bullet. So this is going to be interesting.
You had that business before pleasure look in your eyes.
Not really.
Yes, really.
You're very receptive.
So
Not very subtle, but
one of them is going to have a drip, and then one of them is not going to have a drip. So those are going to be our
Good evening, sir.
exclamation points.
Got it. Here we go.
So this is interesting. It is a little different. Sorry, I can't see.
First round, the best way. And no
It's a slightly different build than what I'm used to, and I'm here for it. Right? That's what you say? It's pretty fun. It's not that different. I mean, I'm sure if you watch me do this a lot, it might look a little different, but it feels very different. So group that. Group that. Now you did notice something weird that happened here on the bottom of this, right? They are all swaying the wrong way.
Maybe you are all right. The next day won't tell you.
So,
I'm a writer.
which is going to especially look weird when the angle kicks in.
Now, I read the newspaper story about
So we're going to flip those back around
Yes.
and just attach them there, that way.
then you can help. And Calderon too.
You will find his office at the top of the stairs, Butler.
Thanks.
But you must not. He's very strict about that.
Group. I don't think anything else that we did
Do not disappear, Miss Thomas.
that we inverted like that. No. Everything else we inverted would have kept the integrity of that angle. Now, I'm going to actually duplicate that again because I want some variation in here. Whoops. I want the O. And I'm going to cut it there and cut it there. And get rid of this top piece. And I'm going to cut these dots off because I want this one to have this style dot. Standing here all slack-jawed. I'm gonna group all those. That's our ellipsis, and it's got a nice drip coming off of it that is kind of unique to it. All right, here goes another fun speed run. But first, let's get our script open. Aftermath run. Hit OK. Let's make sure that worked. Yep, looks pretty good. All right, so let's turn those back on, highlight all those letters, open font self, and just batch them in. And then we'll do the smart kerning again because it's the good thing to do. And we will save this. And as you can see, it's added a lot of stuff. So, and it got a little messy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start a new layer. Kidding. And put all that on it. I'm laughing because I ended up doing a lot of it on my guide layer. That happens. Nobody's upset. All right, so we're gonna I'm gonna go ahead and trim that off that C. That is gonna get cut off that C. So this is different. Going through a little bit of editing. That actually could have stuff added to it.
Excuse me.
This S is going to lose.
Private office. Oh, I'm awfully sorry. I thought that was the door to a hall. Get out.
Probably more than that, but...
Mr. Calderon.
And this is going to suffer from the same fate as the S that got spun around earlier.
No offense. I just made a clumsy mistake. Please accept my apology. Get out. You must be awfully tired after that but it was wonderful. Like I said before, man.
And all of this
Sorry. Well,
is going to lose its drips. Because these are the characters that live up top, superscript style, super characters. And because they're up top, they're not going to have any drips. Also, because they get smaller, the drips are going to look ridiculous. And this is fun because normally I just leave the drips on them. And sometimes I'll think to myself like, oh, those drips look kind of weird. And other times they don't. Like, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna...
how long had you known?
About 2 years.
Now that she's gone?
I don't know, except that I miss her very much. And sometimes when I think of the way she was... Oh, good evening, Mr. Calderon.
Good evening, Teresa. Oops, don't worry. I was just leaving. Please. Are you all right, Teresa?
Yes, Mr. Calderon.
Are you sure? Would you like to go home early tonight?
No, I'm fine.
Good. Then would you excuse us, please? I want to have a word with this gentleman. May we talk? There are many problems to running a business like this. My nerves sometimes. Well, I'm afraid you startled me at such a moment in the office. It's my turn to apologize. My pleasure, Mr. Calderon. You know where I'm coming from. Folks don't consider a man unless he knows how to make an apology and accept one. That's a very good philosophy, Mr. Rourke. Adam Rourke. Right on.
Yes, Mr. Calderon.
Whatever Mr. Rourke would like. And have it brought down to us, please. Another of your specials, Maria.
And what would you like?
Nothing, thank you.
All right.
Well, since you said it was court business.
Because that took, what, like a whole 2 minutes? That's the work you don't want to do, though. Like, it's like putting the dishes away. If you have a dishwasher, you know what's harder than putting the dishes away from your dishwasher? Just washing them by hand. So there's one more thing we need to do. And it's grab this. Actually, let's grab both of these. It's just going to look better. All right. So now that all that's out of the way, crap, we're at 45 minutes and 45 seconds. Probably not going to do diacritics, at least not in this video. We'll definitely do them for the release. Don't you worry. But the speed run begins. There was just a little bit more cleanup than usual, I guess, which was interesting because it was different.
Excuse me, was this for you, Mr. Calderon?
For Mr. Rourke, Elena.
Here you are, sir.
How are your parents, Elena?
Fine, thank you. They're visiting relatives in Nebraska right now.
Please give them my regards when they return.
Thank you, I will. Nice meeting you, Mr. Rock.
My phone always does a weird thing when I'm recording videos where it like either won't alert me at all or I'll get a lot of alerts. Like, I mean, so I usually been trying to record just to let you in a little bit on how the sausage is made. I try to record these on the Friday before. I don't do any editing to them. The only reason I do them on the Friday before is so I don't stress out about it during the week. And also it's become fun because now I'm like, oh, I might actually be able to finish some of these within the week, or, you know, get them to a good spot. Especially with, you know, the speed and the momentum. But, I don't know what I was saying. I record them the week before. So it's around dinner time. And I'm usually the only person home, which is also just easier to record when somebody's not going to walk in and be like, hey, you know, that sort of thing. But that's why there's so much texting, because everybody's like, hey, I just got out of work too. Did I ever finish? I must have. I'm going to have to go back and watch this again. The Svengoolie story I was telling earlier. I don't remember if I got to the whole point of it, but you know what? It doesn't really matter because that font is done and has been done for years. Cargoyle. Check it out at remedy667.com. Why is there a Y here? Just kidding. It's a less than greater than. When I was originally early on in this font, you know, like in development, like 20 minutes ago, I was thinking like, oh, how am I going to handle the drips on the less than greater than symbols? We're just going to erase them. That's how is the answer. So this is going to sit in here like this, and actually, because that looks pretty good, I'm going to cut right out of this. Delete that piece, and this piece just needs smoothed over. That is a weird looking ampersand. Go ahead and group that. Do you remember what this S is for? I do. Not for rotating, for reflecting. This is going to become our tilde. I don't know if that's how you actually make a tilde, but it's how I actually make a tilde. So, at least for this font. And then you smooth just little fixes, you know. All right, the T and the M get grouped together. This T gets cut and flayed, eviscerated. I don't know what the word would be there. And those get brought over, brought down a little bit, and out a little bit. And that's our asterisk. We grouped those, right? Yep. I've been in situations where I forgot to group those, and it's messed up everything. Maybe not everything, but everything. All right, so this is from Currency to Smalls, which they call superscript sometimes because it makes more sense, but I like calling them Smalls. And that looks like it worked out perfectly. All right, so it's almost an hour. I'm gonna let you go. I'm probably gonna go get some food, but I will finish up these diacritics and try to get an alternate set put together, and then maybe we'll have this available in the comments or the whatever that is below this video. Or maybe this video will be on the website and it's up there. But who knows? You know what? Time travel. It's a crazy thing. Join us next week. I'm going to try to get Bloodsuckers rescanned, and then that will finish off the 3 fonts that we're making from the press book for... I mean, unless there's more inside. I've only really looked at the front cover. But, yeah. I'll talk to you next week. Have a wonderful day.